I'm not sure how many people here actually operate cattle and work with cattle, etc., etc. Let's see what happens. So all we did was a little drone, which is a really cool piece of gear. You've got to get one, and a little GoPro camera, and we just recorded the move of the cattle through a water point. To give you some perspective on the scale of the thing, this country is considered to run a cow to every 40 to 50 acres. So these paddocks are about 500-acre paddocks. So cattle are coming through from one 500-acre paddock to another 500-acre paddock. 1,000 acres, you'd normally run 20 or 30 cows in there. As you'll see, we might have a few more. So these the bulls are in at the moment, so we've got a control join, just a 6-week join, so up we go. That's the water point. Don't expect green verdant grass, this is Australia. We do get green at times, but not at the moment. So. So instead of 20 or 30, there's 4,500. Okay, 4,500 cows, there's 36 camels and 32 donkeys in there. This paddock in the bottom right-hand corner, you can see that's the one, see the difference in colour, that's where they were the day before. They've then moved through into that one, and you can see at the back the difference in colour, that's the impact of it. Okay, so these paddocks, the cattle have been brought in there, that goes actually 2.5 kilometres out the back, so there's plenty of space. They're in a 500-acre paddock. But watch them move through and see, there's a cow there still grazing, so everything's going past. She's come through the water point, she's put her head down, she's eating. Okay, if everything's working right, they're not rushing out the back, they're not stressing. The only reason they start getting moved further out is because these guys want to come through. There's a bit of pressure to move. You see here the camels start to come down. Okay, so they're cool. The cattle give them space. Now watch at the water point, see how everything's flowing through. The cattle come through in the fast lane. Okay. See the cows don't speed up? Because the camels have gone through like this and the cattle have just let them go. And then once they get at the other end of it, there's cows stopped and grazing. The whole thing's happening, so they're moving through. It's almost like fluid flowing. Back up here, these cows will be there until the end. Okay, so they work into it. There's a whole social structure that happens. It's really cool to watch. So the lead is always the lead, the tail's always the tail. There are cows that walk to the back of the paddock. There are cows that like the front of the paddock. The diversity thing. You know, a cow's not a cow. Cows are expressing their cowishness or cow, whatever it is. So here they go through it. See how they're spreading nicely? Okay. So that's the animals flowing through. That's just the nice steady rhythm. Those are the paddocks they're still to graze, and these ones here. So now when I said about if we wanted to split the herd, if we wanted to make it different, all I've got to do is walk in there, close that gate, put half the herd in here, and I've changed the impact dramatically in one move. I can take a third of the herd that way, I can take 10% of the herd that way. So it's not every day the same. The structure that we've got, the infrastructure is consistent. How we use the infrastructure is a smart part of it, and that's where the secret sauce, the herbs and spices are in that. That's me just standing there. Now if you watch, the cattle are all doing what most things do, which is give me a wide berth. And then one cow comes, she just trots off and everything's happy. So see this little one? I'm facing, she came up to have a look. And then after a while she decides, oh no, and off she bounces. Okay? She doesn't just walk off, she goes, oh okay, that'll do. That cow going back, she's lost the calf bellowing. You're supposed to be with me, so she's gone back, she's come through and she's gone, whoops, I forgot something. That's what you want that mothering instinct, you want the herding instinct. We've got to rebuild a lot of that because that's gone as well. But fence line to fence line. They haven't come through and gone in one direction, they've gone through and just spread beautifully. That's those last couple of cows still coming through, and these little ones, there's always a few that pop through the fence. The interesting thing is when they pop through the fence, when you start to move, they want to pop back in again. So they're not trying to get out of the fence, they're trying to come back to the herd every time, which is... And that's just then spreading. So we've finished the move, they've moved at the speed they wanted, and they're already best part of a kilometre out from the water point. Spread nicely from one side to the other. Okay? That's our little process. So that horrible, strenuous process